Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension, and today we are going to be discussing another one of the 8 clairs, and that is clairaudience. So clairaudience means clear hearing. So this is what I have on that. If you are clairaudient, clear hearing, you are able to perceive sounds, words, or noise from the spiritual or ethereal realm, or ethereal, however you want to pronounce it. Someone is clairaudient if they mainly receive their intuitive information with their inner or outer hearing. Yes, we are talking about hearing voices, either outside of yourself or in your head. An example of that you were driving to work and suddenly hear, "Take the next exit." There is no one in the vehicle with you, however, the message was clear and seemed to come from outside of yourself. You take the next exit instead of driving your usual route. When you arrive at work, you learn that you avoided a 5-car pileup, which would have made you miss a very important meeting. You might lean towards clairaudience if you are naturally attuned to sounds, tones, rhythm, and music. If you sing, play music, have an easy time remembering voices, or can easily hear it in someone's voice when they are lying to you. So what I have also on that is signs that you are clairaudient. Can you hear someone saying your name when no one is around? Have you ever had that? Maybe you think one of your kids is calling you, or your husband just said your name, and then you ask them and say, "No, I didn't say anything." Have you ever had that? Do you enjoy and you need your quiet time? Can too much noise make you feel tired, irritable, ungrounded, or give you a headache? Do you talk to yourself often? Do you have conversations with yourself in your head all the time? Yes, I do. It's always my voice though. If so, it could mean that clairaudience is one of your dominant intuitive gifts. Ideas and creativity flow through you, especially when you're feeling relaxed, joy, and grateful, or joyful and grateful. Your best friends, were they imaginary? Like when you were little, did you have imaginary friends? If so, it's possible that you are clairaudient. I know for me, I did have imaginary friends or friends. I did tell this story in a previous video, but my mom actually was scared of the fact that I was talking with whoever when I was little, and I would, instead of, when you ask, and I've seen this, and I can't relate to every situation because obviously I don't know. That's probably impossible for anybody to say that. But I would say from what I have seen, that when you are asking a child, well, what's your imaginary friend's name? And they'll say it. Or they'll say, "No, don't sit there. That's where so-and-so is sitting." Well, excuse me. When I was little, my mom said that when she asked me. So anyways, like I was saying, and hopefully we can keep him quiet for a while because he's just sitting looking out the window. Today is my husband's first day back to work, and he's just missing him terribly. So he keeps on watching out the window. My poor baby. But anyways, like I was saying, when my mom would ask me whether or not, who I was talking to, because she would hear it and I would be behind closed doors, I would always say nobody, and I don't know if she ever heard other voices other than just myself. I don't know, but she said I was clearly in conversation. So let me continue on here. Music. Does it make you feel connected to your soul? Does it soothe you? Does it lift your mood? And you hear music in your head. Can all of a sudden you just be doing something else and you have not heard this song in a while? Okay, that's another thing. You know that you haven't heard this song in a while, and all of a sudden it just pops in your head and it just keeps playing over and over and over again. Well, That could also be a sign that you're clairaudient. Do you write music? Can you play music by ear? When I was in like 5th grade, I was in the orchestra. We didn't have a whole lot of money. So my mom had been renting a violin for me because I played the violin, and we couldn't afford it anymore. So we ended up taking the violin back, and the orchestra teacher asked my mother if it was okay if I just used one of her violins, because I was so talented, and even though I knew how to read music, I was playing it by ear. She would have me in concerts because I was playing it by ear. I haven't, and you know, it stopped then. I moved around a lot as a kid, so I didn't continue. And I was in choir for, oh gosh, 4, 5, 6 years, somewhere around there. So, yeah, music is a huge part, and I hear the music in my head. If you're like that, that could be a sign that you're clairaudient. Another thing, are you a fixer or are you a guide? Do you like helping people? Do you enjoy guiding people and uplifting them? Do people tell you that you should charge money for giving advice, excuse me? Or that you have a gift? Do people call you to vent also because your words are so soothing? Another sign is, do you hear ringing or high-pitched noises in your ears? Or do you ever hear like buzzing? This could also be a sign or a way of signifying that your spirit guides or your higher self is trying to contact you or talk to you, or they are talking to you and you're downloading it and you don't know, you don't realize that that's what's going on. That's another sign of clairaudience. You learn thoroughly through auditory channels. Is it easier for you to learn, for instance, if you are hearing it? For me, because as I get older, my memory used to be really good when I was younger. Really, really good. I mean, I would go in and we would have like Bible study because I grew up Christian and in Baptist church, and every like Wednesday we would go to like Bible study, and one of the things that they would do is give you homework for the next week, and we would have to memorize, you know, verses of the Bible. And I remember that they would always be like, oh my gosh, Rachele, because within 20 minutes I would have it memorized, you know, even like the Lord's Prayer, which is like quite lengthy. Within like 20 minutes, I had it down. And I remembered it always after that. So my memory used to be good. But for me, now that I'm getting older, because I went off on a rant, sorry about that. But now that I'm getting older, I find it easier for me to retain stuff if as I'm reading, I read it out loud, so that it's soaking in better. And I tell my daughter to do that because it's hard for her to focus sometimes. So I say, if you've got to read something, even if you've got to read it 3 times, read it 3 times out loud to yourself so that you can retain it better. If you do that, that's another sign of possibly being clairaudient, or that being a more highly developed part of your clairs. Another thing, and this is a big thing for me, and it's kind of like a joke, but it's not a joke. One of the things is, can you hear animals? For me, with my Sully, I like speak for him all the time, and I've always spoke for my other animals too. And it's like a joke, but I swear it's like I can hear what they're telling me. You know, I don't really hear it, but it's like maybe that knowing, the claircognizance again, because it's like, or clear empathy. I don't know exactly what it is, but I will talk for Sully. He'll look, he'll cock his head, and I'm like talking for him. Or if he's waiting, or it's just like, I know what he's trying to say. Now I've got my whole family doing it. They're talking for him too. So yeah, that could be another sign. Another thing, do you receive guidance and communication through music? Like, for instance, if you're thinking about something and in your mind you're like, why is this happening to me? Or I don't understand. And then all of a sudden, the next song that pops on the radio, if you're listening to the radio, or the next song on your playlist, if you have a playlist going, just kind of speaks to what you just asked. Can you relate to that? Or can you relate to going through something and all of a sudden, like you watch a video and that video happens to be about the subject that you were just listening to or you were just thinking about, and then you listen to it. Or you see a stranger and you're out and about and a stranger just happens to bring up something that you were just thinking about. Maybe that's another sign of clairaudience. So anyways, are you clairaudient? Do any of these things that we've just talked about, do they relate to you, or can you relate to that? So if you like this video, give me a like. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget about the little notification bell so that you can be notified of future videos. And I'm wishing you guys always love and light. Thank you so much.